Accidental Master Student here in another video of talking about stuff that I like, I guess, right? So in my last video, you might have seen that I said I was going to react to someone or something that the only clue that I gave you was Big Whoop. But if you know that, you know what I'm going to talk about. So I'm actually now gonna react to this person. I'm gonna talk about it because this is one of my favorite YouTube channels that I used to watch while I was doing my master's. Sometimes I will sit in my computer, like a Saturday I will wake up at 6 in the morning, sit in front of the computer doing homework until like 10 o'clock at night. Do that Saturday and Sunday. Then during the week I will go to work, and then hours after I will be doing homework. And I did that for like the last year. That's why I wasn't posting anything. And I love to watch YouTube channels and videos, but I don't stick with specific channels. I just kind of see what's out there. But there's one of the channels, I think I have 3 specific channels that I really enjoy, but one of those channels I actually discovered because of my husband. So my husband is not medical background at all, and but he loves to watch these TV shows. That his favorite TV show for a moment was The Good Doctor, and I was never able to get into that specific show because of the whole autism situation, and because I had seen the original version, which is a Korean version, and I have seen that version, and I was like, oh no, it didn't make me feel comfortable inside, so I didn't. I couldn't get on with it, and that comes into play because he was one day surfing through the channels in YouTube, and he saw this person reacting to the pilot for The Good Doctor, and it was Dr. Mike. If you know his channel, you know that he's super funny. He's very, like, what I really like about him is that he's educational. Funny or not, serious or not, he is educational. So my husband was watching it, and I said to him, like, what are you watching? So I'm like, oh yeah, I do not like that show. I cannot. But then Dr. Mike was reacting to the pilot, and then he said something. I'm like, yeah, I agree with Dr. Mike. And my husband is like, it's funny because the way you watch medical shows is super annoying. Because yes, okay, they might say something or do something that is not right, but it's entertainment, and I cannot do that. Like, I actually said, well, that's impossible. First of all, because this would have happened, and that would have happened, and this would have had to happen before that happened. And he goes, like, you suck the fun out of it. So Dr. Mike, the way he reacts to some of these shows, and like in the beginning, now he's like more loose, and he's more with it and the whole YouTube thing. But he will say things like, oh, that is impossible, and he will kind of dissect it the way I do. And my husband's like, you have that in common with him. It's just kind of crazy. But I like that show because, or that YouTube channel, I like it because Dr. Mike is like educational. It's funny. Sometimes it's funny. And it's funny sometimes because, like, he gets so serious about certain things that you're like, oh my gosh, seriously, are you doing this? And other times, it's just funny, and it's just like, I don't know, like, it's entertaining, but you learn something. He's one of the things that I really like about him is like, he's like always this, like, compressions. As an ACLS and BLS instructor myself, I do agree with Dr. Mike. Compressions. That's what's gonna save you at the end of the day, right? So get on that chest, start punching it down, doing your thing. Compressions. Sometimes we say weak compressions are better than no compressions, but when you're doing compressions, then you want to do good compressions, right? And the whole speed and the whole thing and all that stuff. So it's really interesting. He's funny, and when he wants to get serious, he gets serious, and he gives you good information. This is not. I appreciate it because it's not like information is like, oh, this is my preference, or I googled this. Like, he tells you exactly what it is. He actually has patience, And it's funny, he emigrated from Russia when he was a little kid, and he has like a whole cartoony type of thing on his channel that explains like his whole experience coming here. But hard work and coming from a good family, not good family like money, good family, but family like with with morals and with these ideas and this sense of loyalty and the United States and all that stuff. He came from a good set of parents and hard work, and that is really refreshing to see nowadays with people that it's in YouTube. So he's a DO, which sometimes people say, well, he's not a real doctor because he's not a medical doctor like MD. He's a DO, and I really do not know what that stands for. I know what it stands for. Right now I'm having like a brain fart, but basically a DO looks at the patient more holistically. Sometimes doctors, when they look at patients, they look at patients in a one dimension, sometimes two-dimensional. With DOs, it's more holistic, so they look at the patient in a like 3D, 4D. They look at everything that could be affecting the patient, not so much just the biological, but is there something environmental? Is there stresses in life? One of my doctors is a DO, and I really like his approach to medicine. Is a little bit different, just more holistic about it. So, but it's fun because sometimes it will be like 3 a.m. on a weekend, and I needed like a little mental break from work, from homework, and I will look at his channels and I just have like a little giggle. And I mean, he's very handsome too. That doesn't hurt, but he's just so funny, and he has like this dog called Bear that is like huge dog, super fluffy dog, and I mean, it makes me feel a little bit because my dogs are like 4 pounds and 7 pounds. So, but it's like it looks like a fluffy stuffed animal. So he has like a dog, and he's always talking like about his dog, and then like his sister has been in the show, and his nephews have been on the show. So I don't know, it's like super funny. That's one of the channels that I really enjoy watching. Again, it's very educational. I totally geeked out when he interviewed Dr. Fauci, because I think Dr. Fauci was a very good thing to happen when it happened. Did we get Dr. Fauci fatigue at the end, towards the end? I'm sure we did, right? But, he was always very straightforward with his answers. And again, sometimes it's unfortunate to have people say, oh, Dr. Fauci doesn't know what he's talking about, because he will change his mind. Like one day he will say this, and another day he will say that. What people don't understand in medicine, and I know Dr. Mike touches on this very indirectly, but what people don't understand in medicine is like medicine is not exact. Medicine, you're like, if you had 3D vision that you could see what's exactly happening inside the body, maybe. But you're going by numbers, you're looking at presentations, you're looking at different things, and how one person presents could be the same as the other one, but there's one little thing that makes a big difference into it. So he talks about that, he touches on that, and that's something that it's really, really good. Again, my 2 favorite doctors in one video was amazing. So one of the things that I found really funny with Dr. Mike is like, there was a video that I watched, and it was maybe, I want to say like they recorded it, and it was like a 1-year-old video, and it's How Well Does My Sister Know Me? And I thought it was so funny because that video touched me, like personally. It did, because one of the questions was, what is like the biggest waste of money, or like the biggest, like the purchase that you made that like you regretted, or something like that was the question. So his sister, I guess he has like a sports car, and they showed a picture of him in front of a very fancy sports car, and the sister's like, oh, a car. Like, I would say that too, because for me, a car is a car, but for guys, cars are really important. And but he's like, no. And then his answer, I was like, wait a minute, what? So he said his biggest regret or waste of money was buying purses for his girlfriends. And I'm like, wait a minute. I love purses. Like, I am a purse person, to a degree that my husband thinks it's a disease. It's an illness, but I love purses. So I thought it was really funny because it's like, and then he's talking to he's kind of defending his answer to his sister, and he is like, well, Louis, like I bought Louis for my girlfriends, and then like we're not together anymore. And I said, that was the mistake right there, Dr. Mike, Dio. So you started like too big, and that's the thing. Like people don't understand that there's purses and there's purses and there's levels of purses. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get a job, for example, for guys, you just don't go straight to the Porsche, right? You might go, let me do an Audi, maybe a Mazda 3, 4, whatever number it is. Let me do an Audi, then let me do this and that, and then you slowly build up to the Porsche, right? He just went straight to it. Like he went like a Louis up here. I'm like, no, 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 no. You have to start small and then build up, right? You need to make sure this relationship is going somewhere, right? So Dr. Mike goes up there. No, Dr. Mike, next time, let me tell you. So there's levels. So for example, I love three labels. I don't like Louis Vuitton because I do not like big logos in purses, and Louis, that's the LV is everywhere. I don't like that. That's not my vibe. But my coworker, that's her vibe. So right. So I love three types. I love Kate Spade, and I love Kate Spade because it's fun, it's young looking, but it's super affordable. Also, she's a Sun Devil, and I'm a Sun Devil, so that's like plus points there. And then I also like Michael Kors, a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more higher, but Michael Kors, the colors are more muted, but he has some fun colors. Like there's a little bit of a orange here and a green there, fun pops of color. But I like his bags, especially like the big bags, because I like big bags. So he has that, and and people joke that I like Michael Kors because the initials are MK, and sometimes when someone tells me something, I'm like, okay, like MK, okay, I don't know. Anyway, I like that. And I'm not mad because their logo is a little bit more muted than the LV, also smaller, more muted. And then I also like Coach. I like Coach just because when I grew up, that was the purse to have, and I never had one until maybe I was like 30, 35. That was when I bought my first Coach. And I like it because, and again, you're like, well, there's C's everywhere. But my last name is Cruz, so it's a C. So it's okay. I can do that. So then you have to rate them, right? They're affordable. And you have to rate them. And like for me, they're comparable in price. But for me, the most affordable one is Kate Spade because we have an outlet. And I go to the outlet and I buy them on sale. And then on top of that, because I'm a nurse, I get a discount. So yeah. So for me, Kate Spade is more affordable. Then you have Michael Kors, and then you have Coach. And it's not necessarily that is Michael Kors is worse than Coach. It's just price points at this, But that's what you have to do, Dr. Mike. You have to like kind of look at that. So for example, you start dating this guy, and let's say that a month later, it's either Valentine's, her birthday, Christmas. She graduates, she gets a promotion, whatever it is. So what you're going to do is you're going to go Kate Spade, but you're going to do small to medium purse, right? Then let's say that you're like 6 months into the relationship and there's another big event. Then you could do a large Kate Spade, or you could do a small medium Kate Spade with a wallet. But the small wallet, not the big wallet, okay? Then after that, you move to either a large Kate Spade with a large wallet, or maybe an accessory like shoes or something like that. Or you could go to a small Michael Kors. See what I'm saying? Then after that, move on. Now like we're in this relationship a year, right? Then you're in that relationship a year, then you go to Michael Kors, and then now you landed in Michael Kors. You could always go back to Kate Spade, and do different combinations. But then you micro course, right? And you start small, medium purse, and then you move on to a large purse or a small, medium with a wallet or an accessory. You see what I'm saying? You see the trend here? Then after that, you either do a large micro course or you could do a small, medium coach with they have like scarves that are pretty. You could do that perfume. You could do that micro course as perfumes too and Kate Spade. But you see what I'm saying? Like you start small and you go from the most affordable brand to the most affordable to the least affordable of those three. After that, when you get to micro course a large, you're already like a year and a half, 2 years into the relationship. And now I'm like, okay, is this serious? Is this not serious? It's already 2 years commitment. So now then you can say, okay, what else? I mean, you could go Marc Jacobs. You could, because it's more expensive than Coach, not necessarily better, because that is not my cup of tea. But you could go Marc Jacobs, you see? And then after that, then you build up. I will do Louis, like if I'm 3 years into a relationship, maybe 4, or for the engagement party. I said, hey, this is my engagement party to you. I'll Louis. See, you build up little by little. If you're at a large micro course and then you break up, not a lot lost. I mean, what did you lose? A small Kate Spade, medium, large Kate Spade, a wallet here or there, no big deal. But all of those are less than one Louis. And I'm sure you don't buy them on sale. I'm sure you buy them full price. You see what I'm saying? So that's where he went wrong. See, like you have to use this level situation, look at the affordability, look at the sizes, look at combinations, and that would have not been your answer, Dr. Mike. It would have been something else. I don't know. Expensive tennis shoes, or I don't know, whatever it is. So that's what I think about when I saw that. That is so weird. But anyway, so Dr. Mike, super entertaining, super educational. When the whole COVID thing was happening, he was like putting data. The thing I like is he's data driven. It's evidence based. He's not talking just to talk. So I really like that show. Right, his YouTube channel. So if you want to watch something funny, just gonna see something different, Dr. Mike is one of the channels to watch. So remember, compressions. And I don't know, let's see what I talk about next. Maybe my second favorite channel. So I'll see you later.